Hi, it's Steve Duval from Thor Motor Coach. Thanks for tuning in. We are heading down to Texas via Zoom because we're going to be hanging with the Hagens right now. Stephanie, Travis, and Lou, thank you for taking the time to talk to us this afternoon.
Our pleasure.
So we'll kind of take us through your story and we'll get into the quarantine while you are full-timing in your Venetian right now. But how did you end up as full-timers?
You mentioned
Okay. So we started about 2.5 years ago. Travis made a switch in career, which took him away from home. His first assignment, he was gone for almost 3 months. And the first month was tough. And then we went to go visit him. He was actually in Florida. And then when we came back home, we realized how tough it was to leave him behind. He realized how tough it was to put us back on a plane. And so we decided we wanted to travel with him. And so we started part-timing about 2.5 years ago, where we had a small trailer, and we would go wherever he went. And then when we were home, we were home. And then about a year ago, we added up the amount of time we were spending in the trailer versus at home, and it didn't make sense. we weren't home. So we decided to sell and donate everything, and we jumped in both feet in and started doing that.
And now you're living in your Venetian J40, and it is really an interesting time to be full-timing. A couple of weeks ago, when all of these state lockdowns had just started, I ran across a couple of articles saying, hey, this park is open and these parks open because they are deemed essential services. And in a situation such as yourself, where you are in your RV, by all means, that campgrounds are essential services. However, they come with a couple of caveats, as you are not getting, I guess, a lot of the amenities are off limits now. So how has it been challenging? As many features you have inside your Venetian right now, how hard is it for you to live normally when you set up camp for the night?
I guess for us, it's not a huge difference because we homeschool. It's made it a pretty smooth transition from regular life into quarantine life. With the amenities that you're talking about, obviously the playground is closed, the pools are closed, the workout facilities are closed within the campground. So we're kind of stuck just in our site, and then we can kind of walk around a little bit. So that's been a little difficult because this one doesn't have his friends to play with, and he's stuck with mom and dad.
But you're still kind of having fun, right, Lou? You're making the most of a crazy situation?
Yeah.
Great. So how is it, how has it changed? Because typically, and I don't think it's changed, the RV community is incredibly friendly and outgoing, and you make friends wherever you go. But obviously, that is very, very different now. So how has that impacted your whole lifestyle?
Yeah, it's definitely different. So just a few weeks ago, you couldn't take the dog or leave the house without stopping and talking to somebody for a good couple of minutes, because everybody's so welcoming and so friendly. But now we've got the 6-foot rule. We're keeping space between everybody. I think probably, we don't get to sit around and meet we've been amazed at how many other families do this just by sitting at the playground and meeting them and talking with them. And so we've had this huge social connection that we've had for 9-10 months now. And that's drastically, it hasn't changed as much. It just looks different. So in these families we've been in touch with, even though we might still be in the same park, it's as though we're keeping in touch with them across the country. So we're doing, is that a kids messenger for Facebook, and we're doing different relay calls and things like that. So it's much more virtual than what we've been used to, but we're still keeping in touch and still he's got play dates that they play Legos just together separately. And so we're just a lot more virtual right now.
So are you kind of locked into Texas right now and this is where you have to go? Or because of Travis, your job, do you still have to do a lot of traveling, and does that bring up any challenges?
That's a good question. We're still trying to figure that part of it out. Louisiana has a quarantine where if you come through Louisiana, you have to be self-quarantined for 14 days. With my job, it's essential, but they deem essential, so I can travel. But if I go through a state like that, then that puts me out of work for a couple weeks. So they're still trying to figure all that out and kind of where the liability and the risk and everything that's involved. So we're still kind of waiting to hear back. But essentially, we can travel. We just have to be smart and careful of where we go and how we do it.
And so I saw, Stephanie, from some of the photos, it looks like, though, you're not finding a shortage of things to do in the kitchen. It looks like you love to bake.
Yes. Yes. I am a baker at heart. It is my happy place. So that is something that Lou is starting to learn to appreciate it as well. He enjoys macaroni. We've never made it, but he enjoys them. So it's truly a huge passion of mine, and so it's great that we do it here without any issues.
Can you pick up your phone and show us around the Venetian and how you kind of have it set up to live in the meantime, before you can travel to the next park and actually get outside and set up camp and explore and bike and hike and all that stuff?
Put it around now.
All right.
You're gonna do it? Okay. Hey. So,
all right.
You've met. So what was the question?
So just kind of show us around some of your favorite features there, because I love that floor plan with the theater seats and the way the kitchen is, and you have the Amherst wood package. But yeah, it's beautiful inside, and kind of take us around and talk about some of your favorite things.
Okay, so our first favorite thing is probably where Travis is standing right now. So
I'll switch around.
It's the living room. This was the big draw for us. So our last trailer had one set of like theater seats. So we had more bottoms than we had seats. So now we have this. So this has been probably one of our favorites. It's allowed us to invite friends over, whether they're local friends or friends we're making in the park, and have plenty of seating for everybody when they come over. So this is probably our number one favorite thing about it, is that we just have this huge availability now that we didn't feel like we had before. And then the next one, hands down, is the kitchen. Like this is where I spend easily 70% of my day. So the countertops, when we first got this, the pull and the draw for me was this. This sold me on the J40. It sold me on the Venetian. With the cabinet underneath, it's sturdy enough that I can do anything I want in the kitchen. I can set my mixer here. We can make cookies. We can whatever. And then, but it's not needed. So this is so deep. And Travis tried to explain this to me when we were looking, and I didn't listen. I was positive I was going to have this out all the time. And I don't. But because of how deep it is, we don't need to have this out at all times. So we have more than enough counter space at all times, and it's been just absolutely fantastic for that.
And can I, Stephanie, that I have some cooking segments that I've done on our YouTube channel, and that microwave that you have in there, we use in our cooking demos. I like it so much, I bought one and put it in my house.
Yes, this has, we had, our last trailer had a convection microwave, and I liked it. And then we got this, and the size is smaller, but the cooking and the baking out of it rivals my oven from at home. So from the house we had. So I absolutely love this. My cupcakes come out perfect, cake spreads. I make all sorts of things. So this has been just a phenomenal add-on that we just love. Nice.
So where you have the bedroom, and Lou probably sleeps in the drop-down overhead?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Where do you guys, when you're working for the day, where do you guys set up? Where do you set up your offices and your homeschooling and the schoolwork? How do you set up and kind of have your own little sections to do what you need to do?
That's a great question. So it depends on the day. We move around a lot.
We get stir crazy.
So right now the table set up for work. So we use the dining table. We've got a laptop desk that Travis uses in the reclining chair over there. And then we also occasionally will use this area here in the bedroom if we need to be separated and a door closed. So if we're making too much noise at school and Travis needs to do phone calls or whatever the case may be, we sometimes bring it in here.
Okay, well that's okay. You got that thing. You have it all organized. So what's next? I mean, like everybody else, I guess we're just kind of going on a day-to-day basis as you know, everybody tries to figure out this COVID-19. So what is next for you? Just kind of hanging tight in Texas until everything blows over?
I didn't talk to the family.
Yep. There. We'll both try again.
What is next? We don't know.
We're not sure. Yeah. So we're just hanging in there and kind of waiting to see what happens and going wherever we need to go.
And I do want to ask you, what are you finding right now that are the? Oh yeah, what are you finding right now are the pluses and the benefits of doing what you're doing and living in your motorhome? Because so many people think, gosh, I want to get out there and full time and explore. And I know that we've talked about the campgrounds are closed, but there's got to be some huge pluses. So let's talk about those.
Yeah, so for me, a huge plus is that we didn't lose, we lost a lot of space, but we didn't lose our main living areas. So, I mean, even in the house, the three of us were either all in the kitchen or all in the living room. And so now it's all connected. So we're still all in the same room, but so we didn't lose anything, I don't feel like, from going from a house to this. So that's a huge plus for me. We don't feel like we're missing anything.
So have you tried to, go ahead, Travis.
I was saying we almost actually feel more prepared because something like this, you know, we can choose to either go, you know, mooch dock in a family member's driveway if we need to, if we absolutely have to go that route, if we need to go, you know, more out, you know, get away from people, you know, we can. The benefits of the motorhome that we kind of pulled us more towards a motorhome versus a larger fifth wheel was the onboard generator, the ability, you know, larger tanks, all that kind of stuff. So we can boondock a lot longer, where, you know, a lot of folks down here in Texas and, you know, around these states, a lot of people have generators for their homes in case hurricane, something like that knocks out the power. We have all that ready to go. So we almost feel more prepared than we would, you know, if we were just in our house again.
So have you figured out how many rolls of toilet paper you can fit in the storage bays?
Yeah, we joked around that when we start the video, we should just have a mountain of toilet paper behind us.
So how is it finding, how is it, because one of the things we're running into here, the dog has to go out. I'm sorry, I'm sure you have, I know that with your dog as well. How have you found it? Because here, when we see things in the store, it's like, oh, we got to grab this now because they're not going to have that again. So how do you get creative with finding storage space since you have all your belongings and you need to kind of stack up on some of this other stuff?
I'll let you answer that. She's the organization one.
Organization at this point in time is questionable. It's pretty much, so we essentially tried to stock up instead of, so we thought of it more like hurricane type prep, which we've been used to. We've lived in the South now for 7 years. So on the coast area. So we're used to hurricane prep. And so we got food essentially for 2 weeks when this all started. And then we just recently restocked.
Yeah.
So it's, well, like, for example, it's just kind of like everywhere. So if you open a cupboard, you will probably find food of some sort in it. So it's been a little bit more of a Tetris game than what we're used to. But we have more than enough. All of our canned goods are in the pantry, and the so it's fully stocked. And the freezer and the fridge have just been, the residential fridge have been nothing short of wonderful. So we've had enough fruits and veggies to go long enough, and meat and everything like that. So that's been a huge plus, because we've seen some families, and we've talked to some families that we're dear friends with that have struggled with smaller refrigerators and just trying to stuff as much stuff as they could into them. So that's been a huge plus and blessing as well.
I don't want to put you on the spot, but I know it happens in these. Do you ever get on each other's nerves? Because I know, I not that it happens here.
No, we never.
Everything's perfect always. I never make mistakes. I say the wrong thing.
Well, there's the pull-out couch here.
We actually got this weekend a pull-out couch right next somewhere to sleep.
Oh, this is...
The tight spaces makes us not avoid things that maybe we would have not talked about, or even just skirted around for a few days. We kind of have to hit it and talk about it.
Yeah.
Talk about it right away.
You have to be willing to be confrontational in a polite way.
Yeah. You know, the one thing we've found here that has been beneficial, and I'm sure many people who will be watching this, is that despite as scary as it is outside of the doors, the slower pace is kind of nice. I mean, we're having lunches together as a family, we're having dinners together as a family, and really just kind of enjoying the time together, because it is so rare that it happens this often.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And you guys, and I want you're writing a blog for us, Hangin with the Hagens. You can find that on thormotorcoach.com. You just sent us one that we'll be talking about here in, when is it, Tracy? Tomorrow, the kitchen and some of the baking and some of the photos, and you've written a number of them. The one that I can't wait for you to write, Stephanie, is when you learn to drive.
Yes, I told Travis about our talk with Tracy yesterday, and he got really excited because he's been telling me since we purchased this, I have to learn. So he's like, "Good, this will get a fire under your butt," and kind of pushed me to do that. So we will let you come along when we figure that out.
That will be fun. That'll be fun. Well, I appreciate you taking the time. Thank you for sharing your home with us, your story with us, and your blogs with us, which again, you can find, folks, Hanging with the Hagens on thormotorcoach.com. I'll let you guys get back to enjoying the evening. Thank you so much, and maybe we can do this again sometime.
Absolutely. Thank you.
All right. Thanks.